in-depth review of NBA 2K16. I know it's been out for a couple weeks, but I definitely did wanted to get one in with you guys. Basically, this game's been out for a little while, but since they've come out with some improvements and things like that via gameplay updates and things, seems like it's a good time to get the review done. There's a lot of new things in it this year that you may or may not be aware of, as well as some things that they made some changes to that are not particularly good. But as a whole, a fantastic package of basketball. There's no doubt about that. Let's start first with the game modes. You have a plethora of different options that you can go to get your game on here with NBA 2K16. By the way, this is for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC is also available. There's a whole bunch of different ways to play this year, and we're going to get into a few of those. First of all, you have Play Now or Online Play Now. Basically, there's a relegation and promotion system to their Play Now system now, which is fantastic. The 2K TV, their normal video presentation. My career, we'll get into that in a second here. There's actually some more detailed commentary I want to add to that. My Park, you take your created pro to the park and basically drop in games of basketball on different courts. 2K Pro Am, essentially this is a team-based 5v5 game of basketball where you have to work as a team and play with your friends to beat other teams with their friends. It's pretty awesome. It's one of the modes, one of the more popular modes in some other games. For example, NHL, FIFA. It's an online team play mechanic. It's really, really fun. Now, keep in mind that this is all dependent on the 2K servers, whether or not this is actually fun or not. Keep in mind with the 2K16, I have not touched the online portion, but either way, that's neither here nor there at this point. My GM, your traditional offline franchise mode, dynasty mode with whatever team you want to play with. They added some mechanics in this year with team relocation, but it's a realistic team location. Or team relocation where you have to get it approved by the board of governors, by the owners, by basically 6 different boards of people trying to get the game right, the way the NBA actually works. My team is going to be your fantasy card experience where you can draw packs and things like that, similar to Madden's, NHL's, and FIFA's Ultimate Team. On the EA series, NBA Live also came out with something similar to this as well. And then, of course, My League, which is a completely customizable franchise league that you can also do online with a group of friends or by yourself, where you can make up new teams, you can make up new divisions, move teams around. Makes it a little less realistic to the NBA feel, but still makes it fun because you can customize just about everything. So there's that. Let's talk a little bit about some of the subtle additions with 2K Pro Am and the My GM. Just real quick, we'll touch on those, and then once we're done here, we'll get into some gameplay so you guys can see some of the beautiful graphics on this. They have a team editing feature where you can basically edit everything about your team if you relocate in My GM, and also in the My Team, you can basically edit everything from the court to the logo to the jerseys to the everything. So that part's actually really awesome. They added some customization options there. Let's talk a little bit about my career. This is a scenario. Actually, let's get into gameplay as we talk here. Gameplay or the my career mode, they messed up in my opinion. Basically, you have a scenario where we have the Spike Lee came in and it did pretty much a bang up job of finding a story for my career. The only problem with that is the fact that looks like you can actually use international teams. That's kind of cool. But either way, the problem then goes into the fact that they made it too much of a story. They made it so that it's something that is less fun. It's more story driven. For your first rookie season as an NBA player, you don't have the option to basically play every game. Now you have high school and college games that you can play, which is kind of cool. It's a new dynamic that they've entangled in the career mode, which is cool. But you never really feel like you're part of the story. You take over a player that is fine, but you don't get to make any decisions for him. Like, for example, they talk about, you get to choose whether you want to stay in college for another year if you just go right to the pros. but you don't actually get to choose. It just forces you into the NBA draft, and the draft is starting, and all of a sudden you have a team.
Shaq, we've talked about it.
So that's just kind of how it goes. Now, something they did here, this is kind of cool. As far as the gameplay goes, let's get back to that. The gameplay is cool because you can actually have a pregame show. You got Shaq, you got Ernie Johnson, you got Kenny Smith on the other side. Kind of like they have the TNT pregame show for basketball. It's kind of cool. But we'll skip this for now. There's some humorous bits in here. Definitely check those out if you have a chance. But either way, let's get into it and look at the gorgeousness of this game. Now, there's so many different play modes, so many different things to do in this game, and how to do it. But I want you to take a second, just soak in the graphical genius that this game is. This game is absolutely beautiful. Now, I did a review previously. I know it's apples to oranges a little bit, but there was a review on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. It's of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. That looked like a book compared to this. This is absolutely gorgeous. That is gameplay video you're seeing right now, right there. And it is absolutely gorgeous in the way of what this game looks. Look at this. Like, this is disgusting. Disgustingly good. You look there at Ersan Ilyasova of the Pistons. I'm just using the Pistons. I'm a Pistons fan, so that kind of makes that. You see Andre Drummond there. They're about to take the tip. Everybody's ready to go. It's a graphical improvement, even from 2K15, which was also a gorgeous game. And, you know, that's just how it goes. So it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, another thing I wanted to mention here, we're going to take a look at some gameplay. This game is a little bit weird in the way that the gameplay is really good based on the fact that they changed it up from last year. You can no longer basically just run in circles and find AI mistakes. You actually have to play fundamental basketball to succeed in this game. And that's something they've been lacking for a few years, but they finally seem to have fixed. For example, pick and rolls are a huge part of the game of basketball, and they absolutely are in this game. You have to use them. And the other thing, too, is you're going to notice, like, little intricacies. You're going to notice if like, I'm going to go pick here. I'm going to go for a pick here. If he stays here and he goes over the top of the screen, well, then he has a shot to get me there and stop me from taking that jump shot. Now, it was a pretty clean look for the most part, but maybe next time down, they're going to make adjustments to make sure I don't have that open look. They're going to go over top of that screen the way they're designed to. And first, let's try it. Let's just go right here. Let's bring up the screens, and he's going to go over the top of that screen. I got to move the ball. Let's try it again. Oh, actually, that worked out. So, either way, that worked out either way from there. But you see what I'm saying. The coaches are going to make adjustments. You're not going to be able to use the same play to beat the computer each and every game. And that's where this game absolutely shines. You have to play fundamental basketball. If you don't, you will get beat by a lot. And it will not be pretty. For example, there, Lowry had a clean look at a three. He did not end up making it, but he had a clean look at a three because it did not go over top of that screen. That's huge. Let's give that back to Drummond.
He kicks it to Caldwell Pope. Pass to Johnson. Clock at 6.
Give it to Stanley Johnson here.
And the rejection by Valanciunas.
There it is. Nope. So, and the other thing too, if you take dumb shots, you're going to get dumb results. That's the other place this game absolutely shines. It's all gameplay. They matched up the gameplay with how the NBA is supposed to run. The speed seems realistic. For example, the players move, and you're not constantly, you're not running at full speed every single time. It's absolutely gorgeous the way this works. Oh, there's another block.
Here's Caldwell Pope.
Try to drive the lane, put it up off glass. No good, somehow.
You know what? His finishing ability,
not sure how that didn't go in, but either way, you're going to have, basically if you sit there and play a 12-minute game, you're going to have realistic scores, which is what I've been looking for years from this series. And that's how I played. I had to put the quarters in my career mode last year, 2K15, to 10 minutes, 11 minutes to have realistic numbers. Otherwise, there was 130, 140 points being scored by each team, which just isn't right. That's not the way it works. So this game has always had a bit of a gameplay issue, but it's been more or less fixed up this year. There's a nice three from Brandon Jennings. So that's what we got looking at. The gameplay is absolutely fantastic. There's no complaints from me on the gameplay this year. It plays at a decent speed. It plays at a realistic defensive level. If you play on Pro, you're going to play a decently hard game. And that's something that we don't see very often. There you go, KCP. So yeah, this game is absolutely the way it should be. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the career mode, because the career mode, now from what I understand, and I haven't actually tested this theory up because I haven't gotten far enough into it, the career mode, from what I understand, after the first year you're able to play every game. But that's essentially when the story just kind of goes away or something like that. But, you know, you just feel like you're constantly, because your guy just isn't high enough. You don't get to add any training points onto him or anything until basically you start playing NBA games, which just isn't right. You should be able to add him on, because otherwise, you know, you're sitting there with a 55 overall guy, and you're playing on a team with 70s and 80s at least, and you just feel like all you're doing is letting your team down. It's no fun. They've got some work to do on the career mode if that's the way they're going to go. I ultimately think they should go back to the way it was, where I had the option to play every game if I wanted to, and that's just the way it goes. I really, really like this game, though, from a gameplay standpoint. If you play smart basketball, you're going to be fine. If you don't play smart basketball, you're going to get beat up. The animations are right on point for the most part that I've found. I really haven't found any weird ones. So, I mean, we'll see. There's some work to be done here, but I ultimately think if this is where they're going with it, then this is where they need to stay, because this is actually a very good game of basketball, and it will be for years to come. So, let's recap. You have the graphically speaking, the game is absolutely fantastic. Gameplay speaking, the gameplay is absolutely fantastic. The only real complaint I have are the features, and ultimately what that's going to do is that's going to warrant us a 4.5 out of 5 from me and CC Gaming. CC Gaming reviews, we're doing reviews every Monday as long as we can do them. On any game that we happen to find. So if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you disagree with any of the things I've said, go ahead and comment. Even if you agree, it'd be nice to talk with some real basketball fans and, you know, get their thoughts on it. I definitely want to hear from you guys. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Hit us up. You can send direct messages, whatever. I thank you very, very much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and finish this little sequence up, and I'm going to go silent here as we finish up the quarter. So thank you again for watching, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Here's Joseph. They get it back. Diambo, and the powerful one-handed slam.
And just another example, Kevin, of how they built this lead, just outworking.
Greg, that was definitely an effort play right there. You talk about that all the time, fighting to get proper positions, then slamming home the putback.
Yep, and if they can maintain this energy level, their lead will be safe.
So it's Detroit now, after the Raptors pick up 2. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the message they were sending with that foul. Nothing easy inside.
Detroit shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game.
And they only made 70% of their free throws as a team a season ago. Certainly room for improvement.
And that just has to improve, guys. I mean, the free throw shooting is something that has to get better. You're immediately putting yourself at a disadvantage when you shoot that poorly from the line.
Here's Joseph. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close.